In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the pen tool. The pen tool is located over near the bottom, along with the other vector tools such as type tool and direct select and shape tool. The pen tool looks like a little pen. And if I click and hold on it, we get a couple of different options on how we'll use the pen tool, but they're mostly all keyed to quick button P. But let's start off with the basic pen tool. With the pen tool, it will start creating a shape according to our properties that we have up at the top. Right now, we are creating a path, which is just a placement of different points between one anchor and another. I can press Command Z to undo those or edit undo, but I think I might want to create a shape. A shape is created from one anchor to another, and it'll fill in that shape automatically as I start placing down points. This might be distracting for you, so you might come to the fill, which is what it's filled with, and change it to empty while you're building it, and then change it to having a color once you're happy with it. Or you could play around with those. The next thing with this, once I close my shape, coming over to the last marker, and we can see that has that little circle close icon, it will close our shape. And I can change a variety of properties to it. I can also change the stroke, which is the outline of the shape. Right now I have it set to nothing so that there's no stroke, but I can give it maybe a black outline, or actually I like this dark kind of red color to go with it. And right now it has a pixel, or it has a stroke of 1 pixel. And I'm going to raise that up a little bit. I can either type it in, or I can click and drag and get it to a degree that I am happy with. And I can see that it's building on the inside, and I can change that by coming to the stroke options and playing around with it. I can have it be a dotted line, a dashed line, however I want. I can go around corners or have it cap at corners. I can also change more options to it, telling it that I want it on the inside, as I have right now, on the outside, or in the center. I think sometimes going with the center feels the most natural, but it'll depend on what kind of effect you're trying to make. And I can even change how many dashes there are and how long the gaps are. So maybe I want to have the gaps be a little bit wider, and I can press OK. There's a variety of other tools that you can play around with in the properties bar, but for the most part, that's how we create a shape. A shape functions a little bit different, and it's important to note that when you want to change the color and change aspects of it, you need to use other vector tools as well as use the properties to change the colors, because it doesn't quite mix with the rest of the raster tools, such as the paint brush or the paint bucket tool or things like that. But this can be very helpful because we can play around with a variety of other tools, such as the path select to move it around very fluidly, the direct select to select specific corners and to move those individually or as a group, as well as we can come to the different additions of the pen tool, such as the add anchor pen tool, where I can come to a path and I can add an anchor, and then I can play around with things like the convert anchor point tool, where it allows me to move the anchor handles to rotate these to give them curves, or if I click on it, to take away those curves. So you can see that I can get a lot of edits to it, but I can also make a lot of strange mistakes, like whatever is happening over on that corner. I can also, if I decide that I don't want a point, I can come to the delete anchor and click on specific parts. Much of these are also located in the pen tool as it is. So if I come to the regular pen tool, if I move around to the paths, we can see that it's already automatically trying to add paths to it. If I hold down Command, it'll change it to the direct select tool, so I can directly select anchors and move those around in the ways that I want to, as well as it'll allow me to affect those anchors. And if I hold down Option or Alt, it'll come to the Convert Anchor Point tool so that I can refine and move specific anchors and anchor handles to give it curves. And if I hover over a point, I can subtract it. So I'm going to remove that point, and that feels pretty natural. Once we have a shape that we like, we can keep it as a vector shape, such as we have here, and we can see that it has the indication telling us that it's a vector shape. Or if I want to alter it further, I can right-click on it and come to Rasterize Layer. That'll rasterize it, making this more of a permanent object. And then I can alter it in any way that I want to, painting on it and adjusting it as I would in any other object. There's a lot of different ways that we can alter and play with vector shapes, but I will cover those in later videos.